there will be certain people that it feels like they are able to just say like, wow, you know, like my life is a mess right now and here it is, and just be like completely themselves and honest about what's going on. And I feel like I'm still kind of putting on a show, and I'm always looking like, why can't I be like that?
Hi.
Hi.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's been
I don't
a
know
bit.
why it feels so weird to record right now. How do you feel?
I don't know.
So, listeners, Lauren and I are really terrible friends, and like when we're not recording together, we like never text each other.
We do sometimes.
Well, we do, but like we're both very independent people, and we're both very hard set on like doing our thing individually, not really wanting to bother the other one.
Yes, that's probably the main thing. It's like, oh, she doesn't need to be dealing with my life.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like you don't want to be bothered about it, like for real.
I do. Please bother me.
I know. God, there's so much to talk about. It's been 3 weeks since we recorded, and it's because I've been struggling.
Yeah. I mean, not gonna lie, the first week that you called off, I could very much use that too, but I know you've had more going on.
Yeah. Yeah, the first week, so Brett and I broke up, and there's a whole bunch of reasons that I don't know how much I want to get into today. I feel like this episode will go best if I just pretend the listeners aren't listening and just talk to you, Lauren.
Okay, good. Because that's about all I know about it is you're just like, yeah, we broke up. We're still friendly. That's it.
Yeah. And did I tell you that the first time we skipped recording?
No.
Or was it?
I
didn't even tell you. God, I'm so goddamn private.
The first time, I believe what you told me is, you know, just like, I can't this week. Maybe I will give you a message later and tell you all the hot goss.
Oh, God. I can't tell you how many times I've told people I'm going to send them voicemails and then I don't do it. It's a toxic trait. But, no, so I've been feeling kind of unhappy since my birthday was when I really started, like, feeling sick about it. But before then, even since before then, I've just, like, been feeling really, I don't know, confused about a lot of things. And, I don't know, we were just, like, incompatible in a lot of ways, and neither of us were growing anymore, and we kind of, like, called each other out on it.
That's fair.
Oh God, I literally don't know how much I should say right now, but it's just you. So you know that I discovered I was queer in 2021 in treatment.
I
talked about it on the podcast before, bitch.
Not when I was here.
I'm just kidding.
Maybe you talked about it on the podcast to yourself.
Oh my God. Well, this is going about as badly as I thought it would. Oh God. 2021, I was in treatment and I read Untamed by Glennon Doyle. And I just, like, really started wondering if I was straight, like 100%. And after I got out of treatment, like, I relapsed, and not just on behaviors, but on, like, old ways of thinking, just feeling really insecure and confused. And so, you know, I went back to men, even though I said I would start dating women. And, yeah, all this shit has, like, continued to kind of be a question in my head, but I just never really thought about it. I just kept, like, pushing it down. And I don't know, I just can't anymore. And so, like, I had that conversation with Brett. And he's known, like, since we met, that I'm probably, like, a bi. And like, that's the label I chose. I don't have a label now. Like, I don't know what's happening. Fair. I just know, like, I need space to explore this. So I told him that 2 weeks ago. And it was really hard. And we discussed staying together. Like, that's the thing, we're really good friends. Yeah. And we were talking about getting married for a while, you know, and we were both like, yeah, we're at the point now where we're either getting married or not. Like, yeah. And I'm serious, it wasn't just because of societal expectations. Yeah. Like, we really did want to build a life together.
Yeah, I was just saying, I understand when you're with someone like that and you're living with them, then it's just kind of like, what is this going towards? I mean, it's the same thing as everything in your life. You know, if you're working at a job and it's just kind of like, I don't see any advancement, then why am I still in it? Then it's the same thing with a relationship.
For any relationship. But, like, specifically, I don't know. I don't think I'm straight, and I think I've known that for a while now, and I don't know. My parents don't know the real reason we broke up, and they were completely shocked because everyone loves him. Everyone loves us together because we're a great team.
Yeah.
And, you know, she's telling me things like, if you guys could break up, then what hope is there in love for my children and all this stuff? And I just want to tell her, Mom, it's really simple.
Yeah.
Like, it's something neither of us can control. And, like, we're stuck in the same lease together for a year. I told you that.
Well, that's what I was wondering when you said that. Is I was like, oh, man, is it going to be that awkward to kind of, we have to stick around and you just got a new kitten, and
exactly.
I know I'm probably not telling you things you don't know, but I was just thinking like, oh my God.
No, trust me, those thoughts have been going on a loop in my head for the last 2 weeks. Just like, what are you doing? You're making a huge mistake. You're throwing this all away. But neither of us were happy. Like, I mean, we were, but we weren't. Like, we could both be getting fulfilled in so much deeper ways and it's not fair to each of us to just like stay out of comfort. Yeah,
like you're happy in that you are two people that get along and like each other, but you weren't getting what you need out of a relationship. Yeah.
It's sad. I've been grieving like the life I was envisioning for myself that I really tried to want, if that makes sense. Like, I tried really hard, but I don't know. What's your take so far? What are you thinking?
Mostly I'm like, you know, you're just saying that you were upset about not having the life that you had kind of told yourself to want, but you know, it's your life. You gotta, you only get to do it once. So don't do what you feel you should or what other people seem to think you should.
Do you think I'm oversharing?
No.
It's hard to talk about because it feels very personal, and but like, it doesn't have to be a big deal, you know? Like, what I want is to just be true to myself.
And I feel like we've already brought this up, but just, you know, I don't know, to make you feel like you're not the only one that has to be vulnerable here.
Thank you.
I've talked about how I feel like I'm asexual, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's the same sort of thing. It's trying to figure out, like, why am I not like normal people? Like, why do I get nothing out of sex?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I thought I was ace for a while. Like, I've gone through all the phases that you read about people going through, like when they figure out they're gay. It's like, for like, you know, women at least, it's like you go through the phase where you think you're bi, and then maybe you think you're ace, and all these labels you try on, kind of, at least in my experience. I tried all those labels on, and it's like none of them really fit. And that's okay.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like I did the same thing except like a different path, because I know I did that at one point. So I was just like, well, maybe it's just because I'm not that into men, and you know, and I changed my dating profile to say men and women, and I like messaged a few, and I was just like, you know, they're not doing it for me either. So
yeah, and like it's such a weird thing to talk about. Like, I wish I didn't have to make some sort of announcement. Not that I have to, but I'm feeling like a need within myself to tell everyone and to finally own my truth. Not that I know what it is yet, but like, I'm getting there. But like, straight people don't have to do that. You know, like I've been listening to this podcast, and they equate coming out as gay to straight people announcing to everyone what their favorite sex position is.
Okay.
It's like a very personal thing that like you shouldn't have to tell people, but like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't like to assume, you know, like, oh, these people have it easy, because you never really know. It makes me wonder, like, maybe straight people go through, I would say, probably a similar thing. It's just, in the end, if they decide, like, yes, I am straight and I am sexually attracted to the opposite gender, then they don't have to, like, as an end result, share, like, their process, because it's just like, oh, I just ended up like everybody would expect me to be. So. Well,
yeah, and that's because in our society, everyone assumes that you're straight from birth. Have you heard of the term compulsory heterosexuality?
No, but I'm kind of getting an idea of what it means.
That's basically it. Just the way our society is built around the assumption that everyone is straight, and if you deviate from that, then you're an other.
Yes.
And it seems like common sense, but I've literally never heard of that. And I discovered it a few months ago, and I've really been reading up on it and realizing, like, holy shit, no wonder I didn't realize this whole time. Like, there's all these things in place that are built to make you, like, fit a mold.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
When I was younger, I remember it being even worse, obviously, because we've seen things change.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, I'm 31, and you're 42. It's like we did not grow up in a queer-friendly environment.
And actually, I'm not 42.
You're 43.
We get to stop saying that because my birthday was August 9th.
Fuck! Oh my God, Lauren! Your birthday was August 9th?
Yes!
Oh my God. This is the expose episode where you will realize what a terrible friend I am. Oh my God. Well, okay, can we take a break from like my shit and talk about that for a second?
Oh, sure.
Can we please talk about you?
Yeah. I don't have a very like nice story. Well,
that's fine. This episode isn't very nice.
Yeah. I tried kind of like the middle of last week. Then, like I didn't want to do any like big deal or anything like that, but I just sent a text out to a handful of, closer friends. I didn't, like include the whole circle because I wasn't interested in it being a big deal, and just said, hey, I'm thinking of going out this Friday, because it's just after my birthday, and just doing some kind of like birthday drinks or something. If anybody wants to come, don't feel obligated, whatever. And I picked this place. It was a cool place. They had, they specialize in craft cocktails, but frozen ones.
Ooh.
So, they're all like Slurpees, and it also was like a really hot day, and I was going to bring Pico with me so we could sit outside and have frozen cocktails, be great.
Yeah.
I had one person, I'd invited my roommate, and she said she would see, but she had the work day from hell, so she did let me know. She's like, I'm just not going to be able to make it. So, that's fine. And then I had one friend that sounded like a definite yes, one sounded like an almost definite yes, one sounded like a probably no, and I sat there for 45 minutes and nobody showed up.
Oh, Lauren! Fuck, you, oh my God. I wish that we could have FaceTimed or something. I literally did not know it was your birthday. I'm oblivious.
Yeah, again.
I'm so sorry.
That's back to what we said in the beginning. I didn't even think of that. Like, we don't want to bother each other.
We hate reaching out. As much as we talk about it, we both are so bad at reaching out for help. And that has a lot to do with, like, what I want to talk about today, actually.
Okay, good. Because, yes, now you say that, I'm like, you're right. You know what? In the moment, I could have been like, hey, I'm sitting out here with Pico, and this kind of sucks. And you could have been like, yeah, it does. And I would have had someone to talk to.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Maybe we should make, like, a promise on air to, like, at least text each other.
Okay.
No pressure. Okay. Just, like, next time that we feel like we can't text anyone or we're lonely, we should just text each other.
I'm bored.
And if anything, it'll be an awkward story to tell on the podcast.
Yeah.
God, this is a disaster. I am so sorry that you had to go through that. What happened?
So I said I'm not going to make it a waste. I got myself a nice frozen cocktail to go. And
what flavor?
Prickly pear
Fuck
margarita.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's what I used to get when I lived in Texas.
Aw.
Do you get salt around the rim?
No, I don't know if you would, like, if you ordered it there, but I mean, to go, they just give it to you in, like, a styrofoam cup and seal it, obviously, because you're going to take it home.
I've never gotten one to go.
I never had either. So they just kind of, like, have, like, a sticker that kind of, like, wraps around the top, and it's just like, there you go. Now it's considered closed. Take it home. Yeah.
So did you just go home then? How are you feeling? Were you, like, okay with it, or were you really depressed?
I heard, like, I kind of understood. I was sort of bummed at the one who I thought was for sure coming, because she did then get a hold of me, and she was like, oh, did you leave already? And I was like, well, at this point, you're an hour late. Why didn't you say something? And I was like, yeah, I did. Like, I'd expect someone that late to at least be like, I'm on my way or something like that.
Dude, I don't know about you, but the rejection sensitivity has been so bad lately. Like, the worse my mental health gets, then the worse it feels when people, quote unquote, reject me, even if it's a legit reason. We've talked about this before on the podcast so many times. Yeah. But it just feels extra bad lately. And I feel like you can relate.
I agree. Because, I mean, that one was the worst. But even the other person, like, I thought was going to come, and they couldn't because he was traveling for work and was like, oh my gosh, like, my travel plans got all messed up. And that's what I heard from him around when I was leaving too. It was just like, I literally just landed. So I'm like, okay, so obviously you can't make it.
Oh, I think that's why I canceled my birthday this year. I can't deal with people, like, not showing up. And I just always worry no one will show up. And it's like,
Yeah.
because that's a thing that happens.
Exactly. I went and I had a bad feeling about that. I was just like, oh, is this going to be what happens? And I told myself, I was like, don't be stupid. You just imagine the worst case scenario. It's like, what happened?
And then your worst case scenario is realized and you're like, fuck.
Yep. So I sat outside on the patio with Pico and watched Harry Potter on TV until I decided to leave. There was a Harry Potter movie on.
Which one?
The fourth one. The one with the tournament. Because they were...
so yeah, that's when they start getting dark.
Yeah.
After that one, the mood like shifts.
Yeah, because he was fighting dragons in the scene that I was...
People die.
Yes.
I watched those with Brett a few months ago when we were both sick together. We watched all of them, and it was my first time watching all of them because, you know, I grew up super Christian and we weren't allowed.
Because that's the devil. Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, we have had a lot of good times together. Like, that's the thing. And we will continue to, you know, do a lot of stuff together. It's just, I don't know. It feels like really foreign territory and it feels really lonely. And so I've been isolating a lot. I did have like a therapy appointment the week after, and that was really good. You know what's funny though?
Yes.
The topic that I had chosen to talk about 3 weeks ago, it was going to be fresh starts.
Oh, you said something about like it's more important than or it makes more sense than ever.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was like, bad news, I can't record. Good news, my topic is more relevant than ever.
Yes.
Or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And now, like, obviously, I still kind of want to talk about that because, of course, you're in the middle of a fresh start, too.
Yeah.
You just got out of treatment and you just started going back to work and, like, holy shit, we haven't even talked about that.
Yeah, I had a first session with a new therapist and there's things to think about.
Oh, yeah. Well, your 22nd,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, you texted me. See, I'm glad you did text me then. You texted me when you were in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you were like, this will be my 22nd therapist. I'm feeling kind of bummed about it.
Yeah, just like, I'm so over this.
And then I think I sent you a voicemail, and I don't remember what I said, but I just remember how, like, deflated I felt when I was making it. Just like, yeah, dude, everything sucks right now. I relate so hard. Yeah. So last night, I kind of had a breakdown. This is leading somewhere,
okay.
Don't worry.
That's fine. Doesn't have to lead anywhere.
So I am now moved into the office where I'm recording. So I got a twin bed and I'm sleeping there now in my office. It's really cozy and cute. But last night I was moving my clothes from the closet we shared into my new closet and I just started crying and I couldn't stop. And I felt like I was having a panic attack and it was one of those times where I just didn't want to be alone.
Yeah.
Because I was afraid of like where my thoughts would go. And it just really scared me. And I knew that we would be recording today. And part of me just felt really insecure about doing that because I feel like when I'm struggling really hard, I almost don't have any business to be talking about it, even on the podcast. And to kind of further explain, I want to share an audio journal I made last night before going to bed, if that's okay. Okay, it's in the media. Oh, wait, I think I can play it. All right, here we go. Hey, so I know this is kind of out of the blue. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Fuck. Oh, my God. Okay, I'll pull it up again.
We're
Sorry,
professionals.
Everyone. While I'm doing that, do you want to, like, talk about how work has been?
Yeah. How about I just tell you a funny story from work?
Tell me, please.
I figured you'd like that.
Why don't you do that?
Okay. So, something has apparently been going on, started sometime while I was gone at work. Well, first, this little, maybe a half-inch tall at the most, this little, like, ceramic, maybe duck showed up on someone's desk. And then these little ducks were showing up in more spots. And then other farm animals started showing up. They have turtles and frogs. And right now we seem to be on pigs. The pigs are considerably larger than the other ones.
Are they all ceramic?
Yes. Or no.
What?
I think the pigs seem to be like plastic or something.
And you don't know who's doing it?
No. And apparently, by the time I got there, they said, like, everybody in the office has been blamed at some point. Nobody knows who is doing it. And a few days, like, after I was there, then that's what one of the women, we have kind of like a little, like, side office where people that, like, don't have a private office can go if they have to make a private phone call or something like that. And she was in there and she came out and she was just like, they struck again. And she's like, I was just, like cleaning up my computer to get out of there. And then I saw on the shelf and she pulls out like 2 of the little pigs. So,
that is so adorable.
Yeah. And someone brought, when we were getting a big collection of them, someone had kind of like a placemat that has, kind of like a farm print on it, and she just felt like that would go. So that's where we're putting them all. And I will actually, I took a picture of it, so I will send you a picture of the mystery farm animals that are showing up in our office.
Please. We need some stuff to post to our Instagram.
Yes, it goes on to this day. We still do not know who's doing this.
Okay, cool. Now, next week, you can give us an update. It'll give us, like, a reason to record.
Yes.
if anything else.
For some reason, I thought you were going to say it'd give us a reason to live.
Oh my God, I won't even go there. All right, I have the voicemail ready now if you're ready.
Yep.
So yeah, I made this last night, not even sure if I wanted to share it, but this is kind of what was going through my head when I was thinking about recording today. One reason I think it's so hard for me to ask for help is because I don't think I want help right now. To be completely honest, I don't know if... I know I do deserve help. I don't think I deserve help. Or rather, I think I deserve help. I just don't feel I deserve help. And I'm tired of trying to ask for something that I don't want. Like, it just doesn't make sense. No wonder I haven't been trying hard enough. Maybe I don't want it. So then, like, what do I want from people? I think I just want to be heard. I guess in my personal life, I feel like I'm not heard. Maybe because I don't speak up. Like, that is 100% on me. I don't speak up. I don't ask for help. But maybe it's because, I don't know, I didn't speak up growing up. I never spoke up. I learned to write about things and create fantasy worlds. And eventually I talked about it online. But like in my real life, I have never really talked about these things, even though I have a whole podcast about it. And that's why it's been so hard to record lately. I just feel like a fake because like I talk about asking for help. I don't want to ask for help. And I talk about being vulnerable. I'm not vulnerable. That's just it. In real life, I feel like I'm none of the things that I am online. And so I don't know. I'm really fucking tired. I'm really tired. I just want to be honest. I don't know. I want to be heard and validated. That is one thing we talk about all the time, that is true in real life. Like, validation is really important. And maybe I don't feel validated in real life. And maybe it's because I don't give people a chance. But like, how do I start doing that? Okay, so thoughts?
Yeah, of course I'm trying to think of something to say when I'm listening, and I'm just kind of like, I don't know, because you named so much, like, how I feel. Yeah. And I'm just kind of like, I
know you feel.
I don't have the answer either.
I know you feel.
I know you have feelings.
I know you can relate. Yes, we both feel a lot, but we don't talk about it. And not even on the podcast. And so that's what I was thinking last night, is like, when we are in this headspace of like doing badly and not asking for help, is it the right thing to even talk about it on the podcast? Or does that mean we need to like take more time off from the podcast and like start reaching out in real life? I don't know.
Yeah, I know. I have told myself multiple times, kind of like you were coming to the conclusion there, that it's just like, maybe I'm doing this to myself because I know that I don't reach out and things like that. But I feel like you need to, I don't know, like, practice to get good at it. And that's what I'm not good at it. That's where I'm like, I don't understand how to keep practicing. I keep
wanting to like find this magic tip to help me like make it easier. Like, maybe there's something that I can do, like some secret that I just haven't discovered yet.
But I feel, like coming out of like a treatment setting, I feel like I've noticed that in that kind of setting too, that there will be certain people that it feels like they are able to just say like, wow, like, my life is a mess right now and here it is, and just be like completely themselves and honest about what's going on. And I feel like I'm still kind of putting on a show, and I'm always looking like, why can't I be like that?
Well, and I feel like I am like that online. Like, I write about very personal things. I talk about it on the podcast. But like, in real life, I never talk about it. I isolate, I don't ask for help, and I get worse.
Yeah, I'm definitely closer, like, on here, but, part of that is because I don't let any of my family listen, or, like, a lot of friends. Yeah.
And, like, when I came on today, I had no idea I was going to even talk about, like, the sexuality stuff. And maybe I do feel comfortable talking about it because A, I know I can edit stuff out if I need to.
True.
But B, I don't think a lot of people will listen. Like, it's kind of a litmus test to see who actually listens, I guess.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of my family don't listen to it anymore, and that makes me feel emboldened to be more honest, I guess.
Yeah.
That's why I've never wanted to, like, get famous with the podcast.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
I mean, do you want to get famous? Be honest, Lauren.
I like the idea of kind of, like, being famous in the podcast world, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be, like, to the greater world. Like, everybody knows, like,
the greater world.
Yeah.
The neurotypical world.
Yes. I mean, I definitely would, like, I never would want to be in the same way, that, like, movie stars are. Like, I wouldn't want people to actually, like, wonder about what I'm doing in my life and randomly write about it and report on it. I'd be like, no, thank you.
That's the thing sometimes about having a mental health podcast. I feel like I use up all my vulnerability on here. And so then in real life, I don't have any left. I'm just, like, so exhausted from even this. Mm-hmm. But it does help people. Like, that's where I'm torn. I don't know how honest to be, because I know that being honest will help me and also potentially someone else, but also it could be, I don't know. I don't want to depress people or make people think differently of me. Like, it's a very vulnerable place when we're doing it right, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. You're clueless hosts. Hello.
Yeah. I mean, how's recovery going for you?
It's going.
It's been hard for me.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean,
it's been hard.
That stuff all pops up when you're dealing with other tough stuff too.
Yeah. And then that's, like, another thing I'm hesitant to talk about because I just feel like it's another way I've failed.
Yeah, I know. That's why I feel like I kind of, like, just deflected your question, because I'm like, I don't feel like I have enough positive to say. I mean, it's not totally negative. I'm not, like, tanking.
But I think people want to hear about the day-to-day gritty, mediocre stuff. Like, I don't know. I could sense you deflecting the question, not gonna lie. Yeah. Is it that you don't think it's interesting enough, or is it that you just don't want to talk about it?
I'm afraid that I don't have enough positive to say, because I feel kind of discouraged.
Talk about feeling discouraged.
I guess maybe I was hoping, like, I wasn't expecting, like, a complete 180, like, my mind to suddenly be like, oh my gosh, I can't wait to, like, jump into recovery and it'll be wonderful. But I feel like my brain's at the same spot it was before I started.
I can relate to that feeling very well.
Yeah.
What did you think recovery would look like, or what did you hope it would look like when you got out?
I think I hoped that I wouldn't be as obsessed about things that in my brain I know are arbitrary. Basically, like, and I think I've said something like this before. I feel like when you are, like 12 or 13 years old or whatever, starting on these behaviors, then you really are so naive that you might think like, oh, if I'm thinner, then my life will be better. Like you really believe that kind of thing. But when you're like the age that we are and you've been through it for so many years, you've learned enough, like that's not it. And I am fully aware that this does not solve anything. This doesn't make anything better. I'm not happier. But for some reason, my brain still is just like, but I want it. And
that's the worst part.
It gets me so like frustrated. It's like, but why?
Yeah, we're smart people. And that like makes it worse because we know better.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like I was saying in my audio journal, like I know in my head what I need to do, and I like truly think I need to do it. I just can't do it.
Yeah.
Like it's maddening. It truly makes me feel crazy. Like last night I felt crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like truly crazy.
Mm-hmm. I've been there.
And it's like, okay, this is who I am, I guess. Like when there's no one else here, after all is said and done, like I'm still crazy. And I hate to use that word. Like listeners should know, like, that's not, we know the weight of that word. That's how I mean to use it. It felt really heavy to feel crazy. But with that said, I think it's a really normal place to be. And to compare it to my, journey with my sexuality, I now can look back 2 years ago when this all started and see how I was progressing towards this like discovery and to like reach the next level of authenticity with myself, like just to be honest with myself. I couldn't be honest with myself until now. And with, eating disorder recovery, I think it's the same way. Like you might feel like you're backsliding right now, but I don't think it's for nothing. And I don't think things are the same as they were before, even if you feel like they are.
Yeah. And
I mean, what's your rebuttal to that?
No, I get that. And I feel like I've felt the same way that you just said, but it takes a while. Like I don't right now, but I've been at the point where, like I can, like look back and be like, oh yeah, actually, like things were changing that you didn't realize. And yeah, it's not the same. So I guess I just kind of hope for that, a few months from now, maybe I can be like, oh, okay, that did do some good.
But it just sucks being in the in-between and just waiting.
Like when you're in the middle and experiencing it, then you can't see it.
I feel really out of control right now, I think. And that is why I've been struggling with the eating stuff a little more lately is because it does make me feel like I have control. And it's scary to lose that.
I know. And I hate that one too. I'm like, as cliche as it is, it's like, yes.
It's so cliche.
I know. It's like, it's all about control.
Even saying it, I feel stupid, but
Me too,
it really is.
I have to say, like, I know, that word.
I just want some control over my fucking life, man. I feel very out of control right now. I feel like I don't have control of this podcast episode.
I feel like we're kind of all over the place, but that's fine.
That's fine. Honestly, like, I just want to be more honest.
Yeah. And I think that's what you're doing.
There are lots of things to be excited about. Like, we both are in the middle of fresh starts right now. And, like, our lives can really go in any direction that we want. It's just a matter of, like, how the fuck do we get there?
Yes. I don't know. I feel like kind of I have to realize that there is a way to go instead of just feeling like I'm stuck. So I think that's kind of where I am now. And, like, it's not. It just... It's just, well, I'm not making any moves, then it feels like it.
But you are making moves. Even if your move is, like, not making any bad moves, you're still making a move. I don't fucking know what I'm talking about.
I mean, I did go to, the new therapy appointment where a lot of me didn't want to.
Oh my God, I went to a support group also this week.
Oh, okay, that's something
new.
And
I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot to talk about that. Yeah, I went to a queer support group in my town, and like 6 people showed up, and I shared a little bit about what I was going through, and then I left, and it was very uncomfortable. But but that's the stuff we need to do right now. Like, we do isolate because maybe we don't put ourselves in situations where we're surrounded by people that we can easily reach out to.
Yeah, and that's the practice again. Like, you have to force yourself to do something uncomfortable, because it's not going to be like you say, like, okay, I'm going to, like, make myself go to this group, and you can't expect, like, and then I'm going to go to it, and it's magically going to make everything feel better, and I'm going to go out feeling so much more centered and so happy I did this. It's like, no, you're probably going to come out feeling like, God, what did I say?
Exactly.
But go do it again.
But it is practice. Yeah, go do it again. I'm doing it again. I put, like, 4 events on my calendar, and I told my therapist I was going to pick one to go to this month. So things like that.
Yeah.
I'm really curious to hear what our listeners have to say about all this.
Yeah, we've opened up a lot.
Yeah, like, I'm curious to hear if other people feel the same, like they can't reach out. Do
other people find, like we were saying before, like you have this kind of like vein where you feel like this small, tiny path where you can be totally honest and let all of that stuff out. But in the greater world, you still have to like keep it all like undercover.
And maybe, I don't know, I'm still trying to figure out how much sharing is too much sharing.
Yeah, I think that's a problem too. Why I'm always hesitant to, because I really worry about being seen as somebody that's sharing too much. And,
me too.
Yeah, which is funny, because I would imagine both of us, are probably never seen as that, because we are completely the opposite. But it's like, I fear that, so I make sure that I'm not that.
That makes total sense to me. Yeah. And that's what I'm always struggling with on the podcast to some extent, but in real life, like for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's like every time I disclose a little piece of myself to someone, I immediately regret it, and I start imagining all the ways they could use it to hurt me.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, like, it's been really hard to talk to my parents about this. I'm gonna go see my mom after this, and I haven't decided if I'm gonna tell her, like, the real reason we broke up.
Right.
I mean, I might just say, hey, we talked about something on the podcast today, and I don't want you to be blindsided by it. So, let's talk. I don't know. Next weekend, I'm going on a girls' trip with my sisters.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, to the beach. So that'll be good. We'll have to talk about when to record.
I'm always kind of jealous about that. You get to hang out with your sisters.
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty great. I mean, I haven't always been close to them, but now that we're all in the same area, I'm really trying to be better at having a relationship with them, you know?
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun. I mean, they're my only friends right now. Legit.
Yeah.
No, that's not true.
No.
We have people who
me.
love us. I know. Yeah, I just feel like I dropped a bomb and now I don't know what to do.
Just sit back and watch it burn.
Yeah, I mean, if people have stuff to say, how can they tell us?
You always have it like at the ready. I'm always like, we've got social medias and they have names. I'm always afraid I'm going to get like say the wrong one.
Well, there's Instagram. That's
a pretty good
one.
That's
the main one, I would say.
Yeah, because, like, Twitter's obviously become a clusterfuck, so I think we've given up on that.
I thought I deleted our Twitter. Maybe I didn't.
I mean, it's not even Twitter anymore. Isn't that something like crazy?
Well, no, there's a new one called Threads.
There's that. But I thought I heard, like, Twitter is going to be, like, X, and, like, tweets are called X's or something like that.
I don't know. I heard about the X on the Twitter headquarters.
Yeah. It
was very mysterious.
I don't want to be a part of it.
I mean, I'm not a part of it.
Exactly. But yeah, Instagram's good.
Follow us on Instagram if you feel like it, at Pickles and Vodka Podcast.
Yeah, and I will send a picture of farm animals to post. Look forward to that.
Yeah, so next week, or maybe the week after, if my trip gets in the way, we'll talk about the farm animal investigation. We'll talk about how things went with my mom, and we'll share any thoughts that y'all have on this episode, these topics. If you feel led to reach out, please do so, because we feel very alone right now.
Yeah, be nice to us.
Be nice to us. Be nice to yourselves. Yeah. I can't think of like a positive way to end this.
That's okay. You know what? Sometimes you don't have to wrap something up in a neat, positive way. A neat little positive bow.
A neat little positive bow. What if that's the name of the episode?
As soon as I said that, I was like, is that what we're going to call it?
All right. Well, everyone, if you've listened this far, sorry for the disappointment. If you thought this was going to be a neat little positive episode.
Yep. No neat little positive bows.
All right. Lauren, I'll text you between now and next time, I promise.
Okay. Me too.
Tell Lauren happy fucking birthday.
Yeah.
Anyway, bye, y'all.
Bye.